So I have an anniversary coming up, and I got it into my head that my wife's old engagement ring could use an upgrade. I walk into a jewelry store, they take me into what I could only describe as a high security interrogation room. They sit across from me and lay out a few diamonds for me to choose from, and I pick one from the middle. Not too large, not too small. Dude looks me straight in the eye and says, "That's $25,000. $25,000. As I come to the conclusion that my wife would be just as happy with flowers and a box of chocolates, I start to think, why the are diamonds so expensive? So in true Kinan fashion, I started to do some research, and it turns out the reason is marketing. Did you know that in the United States, diamonds are the second most common household item behind televisions? According to Business Insider, children are third. So how did the diamond, a rare and expensive gem, become a mainstay in every American home? Well, being one of the most available gemstones in the world, diamonds are not actually rare. In fact, other gems like sapphires, rubies, emeralds are way more rare than diamonds, even though diamonds tend to cost more. So why are diamonds so expensive? My research led me to one single company called DeBeers and over 100 years of their marketing. In the process of my research, I also compiled 4 strategies that pros use to get good deals on diamonds, so stick around for that at the end of the video. Hey, I'm Kinan, and here are 3 reasons why you're paying way too much for diamonds. Today, they're a single company, but DeBeers was originally founded over 120 years ago as a cartel of diamond mining companies. They created a monopoly that controlled roughly 90% of the diamonds in the world, and that still exists today. See, monopolies are able to keep their products at artificially high prices because they manipulate to market to give buyers no other options. And DeBeers, they've spent the last 120 years writing the book on market manipulation. But how did they convince you to pay sky-high prices for a shiny rock that has no practical everyday use? I've identified 3 reasons why you're paying too much for diamonds. 1, DeBeers exclusively targets women in their marketing. 2, they control the narrative around their product. And 3, they influence our culture at large. I'm going to get into those things in just one moment, but first, please like and subscribe below. Cool, thanks. Reason number 1, DeBeers has created a need for diamonds by targeting women in their marketing. We've all heard the term happy wife, happy life. If you're about to get married or married already, every old man you know will give you this ambiguous and unnecessary piece of advice. Of course, you want your wife to be happy, right? Have you ever considered what happy wife, happy life really means? It centers around the idea that women are in control of the emotional balance of a relationship. This means that if a man wants to be happy in his marriage, he needs to make sure that his wife is happy first. I call this the happy wife bias. And it gained traction in the early 20th century around the time that DeBeers was trying to figure out how to sell more diamonds. Now, before I move on, let me stress there have been many legitimate psychological studies that have debunked happy wife, happy life, but the happy wife bias still exists in mainstream society today, and DeBeers marketers take full advantage. How is this relevant to the astronomical cost of diamonds? To sell diamonds, they needed to create a need for them. They created a need by advertising to women and convincing them that they needed a diamond by linking diamonds to the longevity of their marriage. They took advantage of this social bias and ran campaigns to convince women they need a diamond to be happy. 1948, DeBeers struck gold. Or diamonds? They launched a marketing campaign that yielded one of the most iconic slogans in marketing history. A diamond is forever. And with that, diamonds became the singular symbol of love and marriage that we know today. And the rest, as they say, is history.
The diamond engagement ring. How else could 2 months' salary last forever? A diamond is forever. DeBeers.
Reason number 2 why you're paying too much for diamonds is DeBeers controls the narrative around diamonds using a formula that I call deflect and cast. The formula works like this. Are diamonds getting bad press? Deflect public attention to something else related to the narrative, and then cast DeBeers as the hero that will fix all the problems. There are 3 great examples of how they've used deflect and cast in the past. The first one is how DeBeers addresses the worthlessness of diamonds. It's a pretty open secret that diamonds are basically shiny rocks that you can pick up off the ground walking around a crater in Arkansas. DeBeers deflects away from this fact by refocusing the narrative around what they call the 4 C's: carat, clarity, color, and cut. When we discuss diamonds, we don't talk about actual value, we talk about the size, the color, the sparkliness, because that's what DeBeers wants us to talk about, and that's how they've pushed out their diamonds. DeBeers' whole narrative is about quality, casting themselves as the provider of only the highest quality diamonds. The second story of how DeBeers use deflect and cast is how they've dealt with blood diamonds. For those of you who don't know, blood diamonds are also known as conflict diamonds, and they're mined in war zones where the profits are used to fund militant groups. It's a nice way of saying blood diamonds fund mass killings, child labor, and war crimes. Leo DiCaprio starred in some Oscar bait about blood diamonds back in 2006. You may or may not remember. Through its history, DeBeers has spent billions of dollars buying blood diamonds to keep cheap competition out of the market and maintain their monopoly. And in the early 2000s, people began to notice. It wasn't good for DeBeers, so what was their response? They started by deflecting the narrative towards governments that benefit the most from blood diamonds. Governments that they did business with, framing the governments of countries like Congo, Liberia, and Sierra Leone as bad guys. DeBeers then cast itself as the champion of conflict-free diamonds, going so far as to support a UN resolution banning the trade of conflict diamonds. In reality, this was a much less expensive way for DeBeers to keep cheaper blood diamond competition out of the market. In the end, they used the fight against blood diamonds to strengthen their own monopoly. Disclaimer, I am not saying we need blood diamonds to fight DeBeers' monopoly. Blood diamonds are bad. No to blood diamonds. The third story I have about DeBeers' deflect and cast strategy hits really close to home in a post-COVID Facebook era. Way back in the 1950s and 60s, they used deflect and cast to spread disinformation about lab-grown diamonds. Did you know that humanity has developed the technology to grow diamonds in a lab without resorting to child labor? Yep. Since 1954, we've been able to produce diamonds in laboratories at a fraction of the cost of mining and without funding child soldiers. As you can imagine, this was a predicament for DeBeers being a diamond mining monopoly and all. They responded by launching a deflect and cast campaign to control the narrative around lab-grown diamonds. They deflected the narrative by branding lab-grown diamonds as synthetic diamonds. Synthetic implies fake, and fake diamonds are less valuable than real ones. See where I'm going here? DeBeers then cast themselves as the only purveyor of legitimate, valuable diamonds. And if you love someone, you want to buy them a legitimate diamond, don't you? Lab-grown diamonds are every bit a real diamond as a mined diamond. In fact, they're usually a better quality because they're not dug out of the ground. Regardless, DeBeers' deflection worked so well that a recent study found that nearly half of diamond buyers in the world, 47%, don't believe that lab-grown diamonds are real, despite scientific evidence to the contrary. To their credit, DeBeers has refused to sell lab-grown diamonds. That is until 2018, where they invested $94 million into a lab-grown diamond business and immediately undercut their prices to put all their competitors out of business. Hashtag DeBeers things. What's your opinion? Are lab-grown diamonds real? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, the third, and in my opinion, most powerful reason you're paying too much for diamonds is that they influence our culture as a whole through stealth marketing. Stealth marketing sounds all cool and mysterious, but all it really means is that you're being advertised to and don't know it. Think product placement, for example, and DeBeers is the OG of product placement. They've placed their diamonds all over movies, music, and TV. DeBeers is so successful that diamonds have become the whole theme of some movies, from classics like Breakfast at Tiffany's to more modern-ish movies like Titanic. Through stealth marketing, they've successfully made diamonds part of pop culture over several generations. Your grandparents were listening to Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend by Marilyn Monroe, while your parents danced to Diamonds and Pearls by Prince. And now you're twerking to a song called Diamonds by whoever the heck that is. Another way DeBeers uses stealth marketing is through a strategy called social proofing. Social proofing is when buyers make decisions influenced by actions or words of other people. DeBeers will provide jewelry, for example, to celebrities, often for free, so that they can wear them to big events and get photographed. Kim Kardashian wears diamond necklace to the Met Gala, and suddenly her millions of fans all want to buy that same diamond necklace. Beyonce wears some diamond earrings to the cafe, diamond earrings sales go up the next day. Post Malone buys a diamond grill, suddenly dentists across the nation are getting really weird requests. Infiltrating pop culture through stealth marketing is probably DeBeers' most successful marketing campaign, and maybe the most successful marketing campaign of all time for any company. Okay, now that you know how DeBeers is a monopoly on diamonds, controls the narrative, and uses stealth marketing to influence our entire culture, DeBeers sets prices at whatever they want. So what can you really do when you're buying diamonds? Well, One thing you can consider is much less expensive alternatives and arguably more beautiful. Sapphires, rubies, emeralds, tons of different gems out there. But if you know your future partner will accept nothing less than diamonds, show them this video. Maybe I can change their mind. Change your mind. At the end of the day, take it from a married man. It's not up to you to make these decisions alone. When you love your partner, you only want to see them happy. So if you're about to spend the GDP of a small country on a tiny shiny rock, how do you get the most out of it? Here are 4 tips that pros use when they buy diamonds. First, make sure you have a budget in mind and stick to that budget no matter what. You'll be offered loans, credit cards, whatever to make it easy for you to overspend. Don't go into debt to buy a useless shiny rock. Second, never settle for the first deal you get. Make sure you shop around. Third, find a good balance of the 4 C's, cut, clarity, color, and carat, that fits your budget. You don't need a molecularly perfect diamond. You need a diamond that looks good to the naked eye. And 4, consider lab-grown diamonds because they are way less expensive than mined diamond. Funny story, after I got over the shock of a $25,000 price tag on a tiny shiny rock I was looking at, the jeweler presented me with a comparable lab-grown diamond and it was selling for $9,000. I mean, that's still a crazy chunk of change, but it's a lot closer to reasonable than the mined diamond he showed me. There, now you're an expert. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe and click the notification bell below. As always, if you have any questions about marketing, doesn't have to be about diamond marketing, please comment below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. I want to extend a special thanks to Alan Lutz of Alan Lutz Photography for his editing magic. Check out his link in the description below. And an extra special thanks to my amazing wife, Dr. Tayyiba Sheikh, for her support and advice during the production of this video. Her website is also linked below. Check it out. And finally, check out the last video I did. It's pretty good, I think. All right, it's okay. But you can check it out here or here. Peace.